Morning, Sunday, back, man. We becoming. I was gonna say, yeah, we in attendance. We starting to become or get into a routine. You know, and just stream daily. We're not missing no opportunities. We documenting everything. Hey, this is our daily breed. This is how we get through. This is how we, survive that turmoil and those horrible, tough times. We in medieval times right now. People don't even realize it because of social media and the facade, and people playing on people's feelings and making people feel it or feel less than because they could stunt and they could you know act like they got millions and all of this stuff. But reality shows that's not the majority. Most people are not rich. You know what I'm saying? In America, most people are not doing great or successful when it comes to finances or just maintaining. More and more people are starting to basic basically reality is starting to kick in. Like the conclusion that we coming to is that we all out here broke, we all out here messed up. And it's like you can't blame people for where they at if you don't know their situation or they didn't get a fair chance to get up. I mean, if you got a good family, if you got a good team behind you, I commend you and I recommend that you cherish that and you understand that now is not the time to be trying to divide and fight and give back time to the system or resources. Now is the time to come together and work and try to be bosses. Be your own boss, but at the same time be humble. You still gotta work, you still gotta keep that 9 to 5, stay out of trouble, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. But anybody who's trying to make you seem like you're a problem because you might not have things that they may have had when they was your age or like your parents, if they try to say things like, hey, when I was this age I had this going on and I did it, so why you can't do it, and people trying to blame you and shame you and make it seem like half of America is going through it. A lot of people have the option to move back in with their parents, which is great. But a lot of us out here, we don't have those relationships. We didn't build that trust. We didn't build uh, that faithfulness to where people will give you an opportunity off the humbug and show you a different way. Like people, they get mad at me, like my family, because I speak on my situation. But it's like I've been trying to get help. Won't nobody help me? You know what I'm saying? For over 10 years. Before my cousin Tamara died, she was the only one who opened her door to me and actually give me a real, situation to get on my feet. Like other than that, for real, it's like it's just not happening. And I'm not mad, but it's like you can't be mad because I'm speaking on it and saying like everybody's moving back in with family or with parents. Like the study is showing parents, but that doesn't family period. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't account for aunts, uncles, grandmas. Just because somebody your parent don't mean you can't have a guardian that's not your mom or your dad, your actual biological. You could still have a guardian and all of that stuff. So it's sad, man. Like when your own family will sit up there and make you seem like you the problem or you so much of a bad person When we see dating is messed up, men and women are not able to get along in every race, and we know it's the worst in the black community, but all men and women are having problems with dating today and struggling because we all know what we want and we watching social media and we got these kind of fantasies that we want to play, we want it to play out in real life, but in all reality what we want and what we need is two different situations. You know what I mean? Like, I understand women want quality, and sure, you deserve that. But you know, now we gotta see: is it about the way you being treated, or is it about the looks department, the way you feel, the way you gotta, you know what I mean, be accommodated to greet the satisfaction of the complimentary, the mindset that you want to be and you want to have. Like, it's good to have standards. It's good, to set a certain target for what you want to, engage in, you want to have in your life. But it's like at a certain point in time, you got to come to grips with reality. Like, do you want a rich man? Do you want a faithful man? Do you want a good looking man? All of these things play a hand in it. So you can't get a perfect man. You know what I'm saying? We can't get perfect women. You know what I'm saying? Like, most men, they just will be happy to enjoy a woman. Period. Like, even if she overweight, even if she not the most beautiful, even if she doesn't have the greatest attitude, whatever. Most men just want a woman. Like, yeah, we have standards, and we look at, a little piece of ass here and there, or we looking at models and stuff, and we like, yeah, we want that. But it's like, in all reality, most men will go below their standards. You know what I'm saying? People say it's settling or whatever, but that's just the truth. Now, when it comes to women, we know they can't really do it the way that we do when it comes to partnership. They gotta have a certain feeling. They gotta feel a certain way about you. You know what I'm saying? Before they open up and they're able to, be happy. Because that's what it's all about, right? We want to be happy without a doubt. So, happiness has to be established first. All that work, that's cool, but it's like you can only work so much, you know what I'm saying, on your own and your health and hours. It's like sleep should be important, your health, your diet, all of that stuff as well. So we got to take it into accountability, man, because we failing, the youth and the people coming under us because we making it seem like we got it all figured out. But that's the furthest from the case that we can do. Like, everybody's hurting right now. Everybody's going through tough times. So it's like you just gotta wait, you try your best and you make the best of it. Like, take it one day at a time, put your best foot forward, stay aligned with the creator. I mean, it's not hard, but you gotta be the one to make the bones and grind and get it. I mean, some people make it on their own, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I commend that, but if it don't work, don't feel bad because you tried your best. You still, you know, you still trying to save. Put stuff away, save yourself. Be the greatest you could be. Like, that's just what it is. Nobody else is really coming to help me, and I understood that. I got my auntie Cam, I got my uncle Andre, I got my father. Like, I got people I could call. I got family if it really get hard, and all that. But it's like, when you dealing with mental health on top of all that, it's only but so much you won't be able to take, man. They gonna try to point the finger in your face and stab you in the back and make it feel like you ain't crap because you don't have all of this money. Everybody's going through shit. It's like, We can't be out here trying to date and trying to figure out which chick is just trying to get entertainment or take you along and, just trying to be famous or whatever, trying to get a quick little 15 minutes of fame. It's like, nah, this is life. This is real. Don't get it confused because, you see people living their best life, and they're not trying to change for the next person. I mean, sometimes change is better, but it's like if that's not what you want in your life, if you want better for yourself, you know, sometimes you can't make things happen overnight. It might be like this for the next 3 to 5 years, for me or for all of us out here, and it's like, but I'm understanding the assignment, to become clear and to become the best version of myself, which is, right here speaking, giving real life experience, not afraid to be weakened or to be looked at. Like, I don't have no shame because for what? You know what I'm saying? I have God and, I put it on my back so that I could be able to move forward and, have that relationship whenever I feel I'm attacked by the devil or, individuals who want to try to set me back. You know, that's what we going through. And now they're trying to make it a crime, but homelessness is on the rise. More and more people are moving in with their parents. And that's cool, their family, whatever, if you have that. But if you don't have family, people might have passed away, and the people that are still left, you might not have a good relationship with. We trying to do what we gotta do. Like, somebody has to make your burger. Somebody has to make your fries. So why keep arresting the people who are gonna take those jobs? Other than illegals and immigrants, who's next? It's gonna be the homeless. It's gonna be the addicts. It's gonna be the people with the records who's got destroyed, and they just trying to do the best they can because they trying to avoid ignorance. So they live in this lifestyle, just loneliness, because I'm not even gonna give nobody a chance to get next to me and do no okey doke, drag me down. That's what they do. People be in the streets, they be in all type of walks of life, and I'm not judging you, but it's like I don't want to be guilty by association. So this is why I come out and I let it be known, nigga. I ain't on no street law, no street uh rules. I live by the law of the land, same way the white man do. And if you don't like it, cool. But if you think I'm gonna play the street game with you, you got me confused. I work. So if you think you're gonna come over here and take something from me and I gotta live on the street, I can't even afford to, you know, have a place to sleep at night. That ain't right. That ain't gonna work. Nigga, like, I'm gonna call out inconsistencies, BS, hypocrisy. I'm gonna call it all out, nigga, because I see it for what it is. Niggas is cat. Niggas don't care about they people. You only care about that agenda and whoever could, keep you occupied for the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's brainwashing. It's a lot of different things and strange stuff going on, but we staying open, we staying optimistic. It's like we not waiting, but we not going to over exert ourselves in an economy where we know it's not worth it. Like, it's just not happening. It's not getting. You can't force. If you could make 20 to 30,000 a year, and that's what you've been making, for however long, you can't force an extra 10, 20,000 up there. Like, you can't force that to 50 because now these women out here is trying to make it seem like if you don't have it all figured out, then you shouldn't be able to find love, which is semi true, but it's like this is what we dealing with in this economy. Most people is barely surviving, keeping their head above water, let alone able to stunt and have boats and be on the yacht, and you know what I mean. It's just not realistic. Like, you know. So reality is starting to set in. I think women are starting to realize, they've been hard on men all of these past couple of years for not having a certain finances, and they feel like, oh, you a bum if you're a man, if you don't have a certain amount of money or income, which is just like, it's not true, because we see that everybody is getting hit, even rich. When we see people like Floyd Mayweather and all of these dudes and people who been out here for years, making it seem like they the king, or they like this royalty, and now even they going through it. It's like, yeah, nah, it's a shift. It's something different going on that is just like, it's not legit. People are still getting hit left and right. You can't dodge it. It's like one way or another. You people are hard up for money. It's tight. And this is why we see crimes on the rise. We see drugs. Because people are depressed. But I'm here, man. Nevertheless, I'm talking to the ones who going through it and not in the best, state of mind. And we all want to get better. We all want to have a great time, right? But it's a time and a place for everything. So just analyze. Observe, sit back. Don't be so quick. Even if you do have it to spend, because you got to save for later to save yourself. We heard and we seen like this is the Great Depression. This is the medieval times of today. This is the endless recession. So that's what I could say is just like, don't let it beat you up. Don't make social media and people, throwing slander and threats and stuff get to your head. Just stand up. Like, if you left from somewhere because you felt like you had a better opportunity or that would be best, ain't nothing wrong with that, because like I didn't live many places, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, my mentality is, to do for myself, because I've been alone for so long that, when if I was to happen to be in like a family setting or unit, it's different. Like, it feels better. It's good to have that, that pressure relieved and, that stress. But actually, in all reality, it's like, once you become a lone wolf, you know, that's just the best for you, because that's just the way that you know how to operate, and you know how to, take things into your own measures and dealing with the next person attitude, or their temperament. And they may not be bad people, like they actually great. My ex family and stuff like that I was living with, she helped me a lot. They helped me a lot, like, and they helped me realize, like, I don't have to do it all by myself if I don't want to. But I just wanted a situation to where it's like, I wanted to give myself a chance to be with somebody who, you know, might be in the same predicament or close as I am, when it comes to not having kids and stuff like that. It's like, I feel like maybe I would deal with a single mother if, again, but I can't do like with the baby father shit, calling your phone and the joint custodies. It's just like that aspect of it. I won't, go back to, because I feel like that's a lot, and that's a setup within itself. So I don't even want to get at no room or no opportunity. I'd rather just, I say I'm cool on it. Like, it ain't no problem. I don't, I have no ill intentions towards you, but it's just like, I'm in survival mode. Like, what you want me to do? How you want me to, how you think, how you expect me to get through? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to try to choose some type of lane, some type of avenue to, work, my story and get it out to the world. So, I hope that y'all could take something out of this. If you like this video, please subscribe, come back, see your boy. We got work to do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, responsibility on all sides. So just try to be, more understanding, try to be empathetic and compromise sometimes that attitude or that, status that you are better than the next person, because you could be in the same shoes. You could go through one breakup, one argument, and then it could be all over. So then you be out here with me, you know what I mean? So keep your head high, man, and just try to stay clean. We on the road to recovery, day number 3. So